Hey guys, thanks for joining me. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over 5 reasons why you should get yourself an air bike, or 5 benefits to using an air bike. And today I'm going to be using the Assault Air Bike Elite as an example to show you guys how good this thing is, to promote what a great piece of equipment this is. So without further ado, let's quickly get into the list. So at number 1, the main reason or benefit to using an air bike is this is a full body piece of equipment. So why is this important? So for one, for warming up or recovery. So if you want to warm up for a workout, typically people may go for a run or a jog, whatever it is, warms up your lower body. But if you're doing upper body work, it's not very good for doing that. Where if you have something like this, the fact that you're able to use your upper body, the fact that you're able to do push and pull at the same time, as well as using your legs, it makes it perfect for warming up those muscles, getting the muscles warm, getting the blood pumping, getting the synovial fluid in the joints that you're going to be using. It makes warming up a lot more efficient, especially now when it's cold. Getting warm, getting the internal temperature up, getting the synovial fluid going, getting everything ready and ramped up to work out is going to reduce the risk of injury, but it's also going to help you perform better. So if you're having trouble warming up when it's cold, or getting ready for upper body workouts or full body workouts, something like this is going to be perfect. The other reason why that's going to be great is for recovery. Recovery is important, movement is important for recovery, because the more we move, the more blood flow we can get into those areas, which can bring in new nutrients, it can aid with recovery, but it also helps us get rid of waste products, which is going to allow us to perform better. But actually moving those muscles, moving is going to help you recover. It's going to stop you feeling achy, restricted and tight. So having something that allows you to not only use your upper body and your lower body at the same time, it just makes it more efficient, the fact that you can warm up and that recovery. The other reason why it's important is if you are able to utilize your whole entire body and use it as one unit, it's going to make it a lot more challenging when it comes to your heart. Your heart, let's say if you're doing running, is forced to pump blood into those legs. If you do something like peripheral heart training, like circuit training, where you go upper body, lower body, it's hard on your heart, it gets you breathing hard, it gets your heart pumping hard, because your body's having to force blood up to the upper body, and then it's having to work hard to force all that blood down here. Where if you're doing something that is using your whole entire body, it's making your body, your heart, have to work harder, because it's having to pump a lot of blood through a large area for your legs and through your upper body. So if you want to get your heart rate up, if you want to be able to do that, something where it's going to utilize your whole body is going to be good. And this, compared to say something like a rower, and a rower is a great piece of kit, it gets your upper body and lower body. Where this one trumps the rower is the fact that with the rower you're using your legs and your pulling muscles, but with this you're able to incorporate your pushing muscles, which is fantastic, because now you're able to push and pull at the same time, which is very, very functional. It allows you to generate power. It's getting more muscles working at the same time while you're generating your legs and getting power through there. The other reason why it's great is it's going to allow you to build muscular endurance in those muscles. So for instance, instead of you just building up endurance in your lower body when you do a typical run or things like that, you're going to be able to build muscular endurance in your pushing muscles, in your pulling muscles, as well as your lower body. So it's not only going to build your cardiovascular ability, but it's also going to build your local muscular endurance in those muscles, which is all round going to make you a better athlete. It's going to improve your work capacity, and coupled with the ability to warm up and to recover better, this is going to be a perfect tool that you can add in, and it's because it is a great full body piece of equipment. So next one we're going to look at, number 2, is the fact that this is one of the best bits of kit you can use if you want to do HIIT training, but you're also able to do steady state training, which makes this thing a very, very versatile piece of equipment. You're getting more uses out of one thing. So when it comes to HIIT training, you're not going to find anything better than the air bike. There is a reason why CrossFit isn't. CrossFit competitions, they use an air bike to do it, because this thing is absolutely brutal. It's one of the best ways to get your heart rate up really high. It's one of the best ways to get you breathing hard, and it's one of the best ways to basically build the burn in your legs and in your upper body. So this is the sort of thing that if you're short on time or you like doing HIIT training, this is the sort of thing that you could jump on, and within 30 seconds to a minute, probably even shorter if you really guns blaze it and try doing a 20 cal or a 30 cal test, you can get yourself breathing and working really hard within 10, 20, 30 seconds. This thing is brutal. So if you want to have something where you want to be able to do some HIIT training and on the fly, short time, but be flexible with it, this is one of the best bits of equipment you can do. However, if you're someone that likes to mix it up and wants to do something a little bit longer endurance, more steady state style, and get your heart rate up and keep it there for a long period of time, you're able to use it for this as well. So if you want to do your longer ones, whether you want to go for a certain distance, because this, it has time on there, it has meters. If you want to be able to see how far you can go, you've also got calories. So if you want to burn a certain number of calories and that's your target, you can aim for that and go for longer durations. It's going to be difficult, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be one of those ones where you can activate and really hit your aerobic conditioning and also your anaerobic conditioning. So it's the best of both worlds for HIIT training and steady state. So the third point is the resistance is controlled by you. So unlike other bits of cardio equipment, say like a treadmill, even though you're not actually doing the work and generating the power, you're just running on the treadmill, the machine is doing it, you have to change how fast you're going. On some bikes you have to play around with the magnetic sort of thing that makes it harder or easier, and maybe even like a rower, you've got to change a little dial that's going to change the resistance. With this, the resistance is controlled by you. If you want it to be harder and you want to work harder, just go faster. The harder you work, the harder it gets. If you want to go easy and take it back, you can go steady and the resistance is a lot easier. So basically, how hard you want it is how hard you go. So it basically makes the resistance limitless. Basically, how hard you want it is how hard you give it, which makes it really, really great for people with different abilities. So if you're someone who's very weak and very new and unfit, you can go for with this steady. It basically is going to give back how much you put in. But if you're someone who's very big, very strong, very powerful, and you can give this a lot of work and you can put in a lot of wattage and a lot of power and a lot of RPMs, this thing is going to match you. So the resistance is limitless. So it basically is controlled by you. How much work you put in is how much this machine fights you back. You want to go hard, the resistance will keep increasing the harder you go, but I guarantee you will not be able to keep it long because this thing will beat your ass. So the next thing we'll look at, number 4, is it is low impact and it's going to be therefore great for injury. So because compared to say something like running, which is obviously high impact, that banging that you're going to be going for, especially if you do a lot of running on say concrete, road running, that impact can lead to injuries. And if you're someone who already has an injury, so let's say you've injured your foot or you've injured your leg, you're not going to be able to run. Where something like this, because it is low impact, the impact is basically there isn't any, how likely you are to get an injury is very, very slim. The other thing is, if you're someone that does have an injury, you can manipulate what you're doing with this thing. So let's say, for instance, you've hurt one of your foot, you can still use the other foot to be able to pedal with, and then you use your upper body to assist you. If you've got an injury maybe in an arm or there's a weakness in there, the fact that this basically thing is using 4 limbs at the same time, if you want to, you can use the upper body independently, you can use just the pedals, your legs independently, or you can use them all together. If you have an injury, this thing is a lot easier to work around, where if you have something wrong with your foot or your leg, running is out of the question, treadmill is out of the question, skipping is out of the question, anything where you're using your feet is out of the question. But with this, because you've got the seat, you can sit down and you can incorporate your upper body and lower body together, you can work around injuries. But the fact that it is a low impact and the risk of injury is very, very low with this sort of equipment, it makes training a lot easier, it makes it a lot safer, and it makes it so you're able to train for a lot longer because the risk is a lot lower. So the 5th thing we're going to be looking at is this piece of equipment is perfect for home. But if you're someone who's looking for a piece of cardio equipment to basically work out at home, you're not going to get a better one for this, mainly for the 4 reasons stated above. But the fact that this thing is so small, it doesn't take up a lot of space. If you want to get a treadmill, it takes up a large amount of space. If you want to get a rower, it may be narrow, but it's a lot longer. So when it comes to other bits of equipment, this is a very, very small piece of equipment that if you're not fortunate enough to have a garage, this is something you could fit in the spare room, in your living room. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and the fact that you can literally jump on and just use it, you don't need to have a plug socket to be able to connect it up to be able to use it. So where you put it, if you want to roll it around your house, you want to roll it outside, put it in the garden, roll it around different places in your house, you can work out and use it anywhere you want because it doesn't need anything. If you want to check out more information on this air bike, I've done the review on already. I'll leave a link to it up above, or it'll be at the end of the video. Make sure you check that out because in my opinion, this is one of the best air bikes on the market. So if you're looking to take advantage of some of the benefits that I've talked about, the air bike is one of the best things to do if you want to do circuits, if you want to do other exercises. The fact that you can incorporate with this with different exercises, it makes it perfect for circuit training, for CrossFit and different things like that. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notified of whenever I upload. And if you have any questions or you want to create a discussion, please use that comment section down below. With that out of the way, guys, I'll see you in the next video.